Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week of October 7th. This week, we are going to jump right in here. And you have this Rebellion card that says, think outside of the box and stretch the boundaries of what could be. You also have this Ultimate Fulfillment card. It says, you are now entering into a time of peace, happiness, and emotional fulfillment. I like that there, Taurus. Looks very good. So let's see what is going on for you here. You start off with the Hangman, the Fool, and the Ten of Wands. This is contradictory energy, the Hangman and the Fool. So the Hangman is kind of like no movement. He has sacrificed the use of his arms and his legs so that he can gain enlightenment. The Fool has the sun to his back, so he has gained enlightenment, and now he needs to take a leap of faith. But then we go to the Ten of Wands, and it's almost like you have been preparing for something, thinking about something, gaining enlightenment. You need to take a leap of faith, but the Ten of Wands is like all the responsibilities or all the things that you're doing in your life that you need to get done, and it's almost as if something is kind of preventing you from taking some sort of leap of faith. So we're going to look into this, but you start with the Hangman, and like I said, the Hangman has sacrificed use of his arms and his legs so that he can gain enlightenment. But I kind of feel like you know everything that you need to know about something. His head is glowing. He's gained enlightenment. I'll say this as well, Taurus. You go High Priestess to the Five of Wands, which is also kind of similar because the High Priestess has unlimited potential, and then the Five of Wands is like inner conflict or conflict that you could be experiencing. I kind of feel that some of you are fearing creating a conflict if you take a leap of faith in a direction. So some of you want to make a change in your life, or you're wanting to move in a new direction, and the fear here could be your responsibilities to other people or to other situations. It's very simple. There's no reason to overcomplicate this first row. I think that this could just be the fear of letting people down, or maybe you do have certain responsibilities to other people, and that could be getting in the way of something that that you need to do in your life. And I really feel there is no good answer here, because right next to the Hangman, you have the Strength card, and the Strength card says you have to have the strength to do it. I think something that would be helpful for you with the Ten of Wands is to see how close you are. He has those 10 wands in front of his face, so he can't see how close he is to achieving his goal right here. And it's almost like you need to achieve something, put your wands down, and then you can go handle all these responsibilities that you could be dealing with. And so maybe you're doing things in the wrong order is kind of what's popping into my head. It would be better for you to complete something and then help, or it would be better for you to achieve a goal or lay a solid foundation in your life and then go do something else, right? And I don't really know where this is going, but that's kind of what is popping into my head with this energy. So it's definitely something I would think about. With the Hangman, you have the Chariot, which is about taking control. So the Chariot is a victory, but with the Chariot, the Chariot is a card of hard control. The Strength card is a card of soft control in the tarot. And so with the Chariot, we have to be the ones to really grab onto the reins and make something happen. The Chariot says where there's a will, there's a way. But it's like sometimes I think when we're working towards something, we distract ourselves with other responsibilities for whatever reason. And I kind of feel this is saying you need to get back on your journey or on the path and finish something up, or get something, I don't even know. I have a million things popping into my head if you can't tell here, Taurus. But it's almost like you need to be in a good place before you can, help other people or get into something, or even if this is love, for example, right? It's kind of like this here, this, and this would say that you need to, be in a good place before you can invite love into your life or something else. So a lot of this reading, I feel, is kind of like all about you. With the Fool, you have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is only seeing one way of doing things when there are many. So with the Eight of Swords, we need to open up to all the ways there are to live our life, do the things that we have to do, and we need to stay flexible, which is very important this year for you fixed signs, is to stay flexible and stay focused. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is about walking away from things that no longer serve you, and definitely with the Ten of Wands. I mean, the thing about the Ten of Wands is I look at it as a good card because he is very close to reaching his goal, but some of those responsibilities might not be his. They might belong to other people, or they might belong to other people in his life. And so he needs to maybe walk away from some of the responsibilities that really don't belong to him, or he needs to make sure that he isn't creating too many responsibilities for himself, right? So that he has enough time for himself. And I kind of get that energy here in this first row. In the next row of what's coming in for you, can't make this up. You have this boundaries card, and you have this seeking healing card. So setting boundaries is going to be very important for you. This comes up for a lot of people this week. I kind of feel, I'm shooting this on October 1st. On October 2nd, we have this solar eclipse in Libra, which could, definitely that eclipse could have a lot to do with boundaries. Libra is about balance. So for a lot of you, you could be thinking about setting boundaries so that you have enough time for yourself. You have the Strength card, the High Priestess, and the Page of Swords. The Strength card, like I said, is a card of soft control. She is taking control by doing something passively. She isn't really needing to take control of this lion. The lion represents her inner beast, her inner critic, her inner demons. This lion, its tail is between its legs here, and it's submitting to her. And so for a lot of you, this could be about you quieting your inner voice, or taking control of your inner critic, and kind of silencing it like she is. She has her hands in that lion's mouth, so she is controlling what she says to herself. And this is something that she has to do every single day. And so, I'm a big fan of brainwashing yourself into success, right? I sit here, I do my affirmations every single morning, and I think affirmations are like a great way to brainwash yourself into success, right? Affirmations, I think they're good. I think they take a long time, right? You have to tell yourself over and over and over again whatever your affirmations are. But I think it's a great practice, especially over a long period of time. But that's like one way to do it. And I think taking control is going to be very helpful for you. You have the High Priestess. It's like something has a lot of potential, but not from a scattered place, She is kind of sitting here. She's focusing on one idea. She has this crown on her head. That crown has 3 stages of the moon on it, and it says that she can see the beginning, middle, and end of anything that she enters into before she enters into it. So she is very focused on like what she wants to accomplish, and she is visualizing herself accomplishing something that she wants to accomplish. So I feel for a lot of you that maybe you need to visualize, or maybe you need to kind of really take some time to visualize the success that you want to create in your life. And I feel that would be very beneficial for you with this High Priestess energy. You have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is looking over at the 10 of Wands and the 8 of Cups. So it's kind of like you are already looking at the things that are a burden in your life, or that are taking up too much time in your life. And you could already be curious about bringing these things to an end. You have the Death card right here. You even go up to the 6 of Pentacles, which we look at the 6 of Pentacles as a card of equal give and take. And the 6 of Pentacles says, where are you investing your energy, or are you investing it in things that you don't need to invest it in? The 6 of Pentacles is coming up in the good stuff, but, it could be a good thing for you to avoid, wasting your time or whatever. With the Strength card, you have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, no rushing at this time. The Knight of Swords is a card where normally the horse that the Knight of Swords is riding on, looks stressed out. He is forcing it to run. And I kind of feel this is saying no forcing things. And if you are doing anything in your life that you feel like you're forcing, then it might not be a good thing for you. And, especially if it's like a responsibility or a commitment that isn't really important, it might be something that you are forcing to make happen. With the High Priestess, you have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands says what makes your heart feel free. If again, not a bad reading. It's actually a good reading. But I also feel this first row saying is, I don't know if it's stuck that I feel, or if you are just doing so much that you don't realize that you're stuck. I think that can happen sometimes in life as well. We can be very busy, and we can think oh, I'm busy, so I'm doing things and I'm getting ahead, but really you aren't. And I feel that the Page of Wands is saying what makes your heart feel free, or what makes you feel like you're having a good time, and that's really what I would focus on here. With the Page of Swords, you have the 5 of Swords. Definitely separating away from something. So I feel for a lot of you that you could be ending something here, going this way, or you could be bringing something to an end that just isn't working. And I feel like this has come up for you in the past couple weeks, so it makes sense. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have the Starfish card. It says cosmic energy, mystical awareness, and regeneration. You have this macaque. It says matriarchal, cordial, and hierarchy. I think it's funny that it says hierarchy because, it's like you need to do the things that are important first. Having a hierarchy is doing the level of importance of the things that you do. So I feel for a lot of you, kind of looking at what you're doing and maybe putting it in a level or, doing things in the level of importance would be a very good idea for you with this energy. I also feel that a lot of you are aware, though. I mean, you have the High Priestess, which could say that you are very intuitive at this time, and you need to pay attention to what your intuition is telling you. You have the Lovers, the Death card, and the Five of Wands. I do feel like there could be love for some of you, but not really love reading. I feel like this reading is all about you making a choice. The Lovers was traditionally a card of making a choice in love, but I believe that the Lovers can represent making a choice in any area of your life. And I always say pick the new path with the Lovers. Like there could be a new direction that is much more fruitful or just a much better match for you in general. And I feel that's what you need to focus on right now, especially if you're like too scattered or, if you feel like you're doing too much. You have the Death card, which could be a major change that's coming in for you. You can see here that the King is dead on the Death card, and the King being dead could represents the death of establishment on the Death card because, we think of kings, we think that they are immune to death, but even kings die. So it kind of says that even things that we think are established in our life, eventually they all go through a transformation. And so you're clearly up against like a new beginning. And that's really what I feel here with this reading. It's kind of funny. This horse is up against these like three people here. And, I kind of feel like you are up against a change and you could feel pulled in many directions. We have three people right here. We have like that Pope looking guy, which can represent like the death of beliefs or belief systems or belief structures. We have this lady here who's not even looking at the Death Rider. She just doesn't want to change. And then we have the child, and the child is holding up flowers to the Death Rider, and kind of represents that children are excited by change. They're excited by new things. Children ask a lot of questions and things like that. And right next to it, we have the Page of Wands. And so I feel like embracing a childlike energy, being willing to explore new ideas, being willing to move in new directions, or being willing to get excited by new things is kind of what this reading is really encouraging you to do. It's like encouraging you to really focus in. You have the Five of Wands. I feel like this is like conflict. The interesting thing is that like I think you need to look at your actions. And I'm not calling you out here at all here, Taurus, but it's like sometimes I think we do something like we have an obligation, right? But it's like if you're always late to the obligation, it's like that might be your inner self telling you that you don't really want to do it, right? That's just like one example. But it's like I think we all have like an inbuilt system where if we don't want to do something, it's like maybe we can't get motivated to do it, or maybe we're late every time we have to show up or whatever. But it's like that could be your inner self telling you that you really don't want to do something. Same thing like if you're in a relationship, right? It's like I think if your inner self is telling you something about it and you're not listening, it's like you're not listening to the conflict that's being created. It's like maybe your person texts you, and every time they text you, you roll your eyes. It's like maybe that's a clue that you shouldn't be in this relationship and you should end it now. And again, those are just simple examples. There are a million things that could be going on, but I kind of feel like your body could be telling you that you don't want to do something. Maybe maybe you're tired, right? That's like another good one as well. It's like I've talked to a lot of people where they're like, oh, I have to do this, but I'm tired every time I do it. I'm like, well, then you probably don't really want to do it. Plain and simple. So I think the Five of Wands is more inner conflict, right? With the Lovers, you have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is fortune after difficulty, total fulfillment. We see a lot of, you start with that ultimate fulfillment card. And even though it might not seem like it, I think this reading is talking about ultimate fulfillment. It's talking about you eliminating things that pull you away from your happiness. This is the only thing that you need to focus on. On the Ten of Cups, they have those 10 cups above their heads. And the whole story of the Ten of Cups is that they're standing in the real world. They still have to deal with real world challenges, difficulties, everything. But they're choosing to focus on what makes them happy. And, that's really what I would do here. With the Death card, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, it's time to like get started in a new direction. Like I would be careful. I do have a weird message popping into my head in this reading. I kind of said it earlier, but in the first row, and I wasn't really clear on where the message was going, but I think what the reading is trying to say is like, don't get too far ahead of yourself. Sometimes it's like we have this gap, we like where we are and where we want to be, and there's like all this stuff in between. And I feel like in a lot of ways, it's you could do a lot of things over here, right? You could get to this place where you start working on the goal and you just like jump right to it, and there really isn't necessarily anything wrong with it. But at the same time, I feel like the reading is saying there are bits of foundation that need to be laid in between like where you are and where you want to be. I feel like there are some things here that are stealing your time from you building that foundation, but I think it would be much better for you to build the solid foundation first and then do all the other stuff that you want to do. I hope that makes sense. Probably not, but I would like take your time on the foundational work. With the Five of Wands, you have the Judgment card. I don't know. I feel like I'm not telling you anything you don't need to know, right? Or that you don't already know is what I meant to say. I almost feel nothing on this Judgment card. I almost feel like it's just saying that you already know all these things that I'm telling you. So, the Judgment card is like waking up to the truth or waking up to your purpose. But, in a lot of ways, I feel like you already know everything I've just said. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you actually have 3 cards here. You have this card that says, work through your fears. Definitely, a lot of people have been getting cards like this week. So it could be one of those weeks where we have to face a fear. You have this full moon in Sag. It says, look at the big picture. Definitely. And you have this emotions are running high. Yes, definitely. So I would pay attention to your emotions. It is coming up in the good stuff, but I would look at the big picture of what you're doing and say, like, is it really adding up to the big picture? Are the actions I'm taking, are they really getting me to where I want to go or not? And that's a question that I would ask yourself with this energy. You have the Six of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. Six of Pentacles is equal give and take. That's another good place to come from this week for you, Taurus, like looking at the things that you're doing and saying to yourself, am I getting anything out of this or not? So everything you work on, everything you do, I would ask that question. It's also a card of getting started. So, sometimes I think with the Six of Pentacles, we just have to take the first step, and the first step leads to the next step, and we eventually reach our goal. You have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is a card of expansion and growth, and the Three of Wands is also about going on an adventure. So there could be a new adventure you're going on. We have these boats on the ocean, and those boats could take him to a place that he's never been before. So a lot of you could be experiencing new beginnings, especially with like the Fool and all this other stuff showing up. But the Three of Wands says focus on expansion. You have the Ace of Wands, focus on new beginnings. Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. And so I feel for a lot of you that you are kind of creating a new beginning here. The Ace of Wands also, I think, ties in nicely with the Page of Wands and the Child on the Death card, because the Ace of Wands is your inspiration. And, that's really what I would be focusing on here. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Strength card again. So again, your inner strength is going to be very important for you this week, and focusing on your inner strength. With the Three of Wands, you have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work. I would just make sure that you're working with the right people. The Three of Pentacles is about working together with people who lift you up, who make you better. And that's what I would focus on here. This is also about your work. And the Three of Pentacles is a card of quality work and you just doing a good job. So a lot of you, really it's a card of like showing your work. He has finished those Three Pentacles and he's showing the 2 people the work that he's done. So, again, I would make sure that you're showing your work. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Magician. Total reinvention. I'm kind of wondering if this reading is also about you reinventing yourself. And so whenever we reinvent ourselves, we might remove ourselves from people, places, things, and that could be what's going on here. You have this Kite card that says vacation. You probably need a vacation. Chariot, Three of Wands, travel. So if you can take a vacation, I would. Maybe just a staycation would be helpful as well. You have this August card, and you have this bowl. It says plenty of material things. If you focus, I'm going to say. So if you get rid of the excess, then, of course, I feel that you will be attracting more, more abundance, more success. You have this Grapes card that says time to go out and have fun. That also could tie in very well with this reading because, it seems like a busy reading. It seems like you're doing a lot with the Ten of Wands as well. So I would focus on that. You have this gavel, it says involvement with the law. I actually feel pretty good if you're dealing with something involving the law. So if you're dealing with something legal, then I feel that you could be either getting news or literally a judgment with the judgment card. If you're not dealing with something legal, again, I would just say, Libra eclipse, I would just focus on balancing things out. And finally, you have this hills card. It says obstacles to overcome. These are hills, not mountains. So don't turn molehills into mountains is what I feel like saying. Just realize that there will always be things that come up that get in the way. But pretty interesting reading here, Taurus. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.